Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Row of Gilead here with some kit reveals for you. We had Bombur just a couple days ago and we didn't have a chance to get to him, so we're going to fit him right in here with Bilbo Baggins. They went with a younger model, which hopefully means we'll have a legendary older Bilbo Baggins somewhere down the line. But for now, we got this young member of Thorin's company. This team is shaping up to be very, very cool. Look for a future video kind of detailing the team's strengths and weaknesses, what mods to expect. What we're going to do here today, we're going to break down the kits for Bilbo and for Bombur and kind of explain some of their unique mechanics and whether or not they are somebody you should be pushing for, and if you are in that market or not. So that being said, let's get right into it with our good friend Bilbo Baggins. So let's go ahead and read the quote because it's always fun. Sorry, I don't want any adventures, thank you. Not today. Good morning. But please come to tea anytime you like. Why not tomorrow? Goodbye. Right. Bilbo, the reluctant adventurer. His faction, of course, is Thorin's company. You're looking at light support, Thorin's company, hobbit, and staff keywords. And then his description's silly, right? Bilbo Baggins never had any adventures until one day Gandalf the Grey and a host of dwarves arrived on his doorstep. So, jumping right in, his basic ability is actually pretty unique as far as things are concerned here in Lord of the Rings. At maximum upgrade, attack the target enemy for 170% damage and dispel 2 boons, prioritizing Taunt and Provoke. And that's pretty huge. This is the first character to specifically prioritize removing certain boons versus other boons. So this will be a very cool anti-tank mechanic. And this is going to be really helpful because Thorin Oakenshield's whole team is focused on single targeting damage and applying stacks of Overwhelmed, which is Thorin's unique mechanic. And of course, we're going to go over that a little more in the next video, but just suffice to say that Bilbo, if you're really trying to run and get the most out of your Thorin's company team, Bilbo is probably going to be the most important unit. You're not going to want to be without him. Moving on ahead. Special ability 2, the Honest Burglar. It's a total of 4 stamina. It's going to start with 3. We're only going to read the max upgrade description again. I think you guys will figure it out as we go. Transfer 2 Banes from self to the target enemy, so getting rid of debuffs, putting on the enemy. Then attack target enemy for 270% damage and inflict disable for 1 turn. So that's pretty sweet. Getting those Banes off of Bilbo, throwing them onto whatever enemy you're attacking. Special 2, this is the big one. Epic Treasure Hunter. Starts at 4 cost stamina. You get 3 at the start of the battle. At max upgrade, steal 3 boons from the target enemy, excluding taunts and provokes. You don't have to worry about pulling those if you don't want them, and grant them to the most wounded squad member. Awesome. Attack the target enemy for 290% damage and inflict blind for 1 turn. Gain stealth for 1 turn. So that's pretty huge. That's a lot for one special 2. And it's going to get even better with his passive. His passive, the Hurried Hobbit at maximum upgrade. When attacked, gain 25% turn meter. If the attacker has a boon, gain 1 stamina for Expert Treasure Hunter. Again, that's a special 2 here. That's letting us steal boons and, grant them to our most wounded teammates, and then blind, and then gain stealth. So the more he gets hit, the faster he gets that, which is fantastic. And again, this seems like it's going to synergize really well with Thorin's company as you're only going to have, maybe 1 taunting character at a time. They might get off of that character. Hopefully they hit Bilbo, right? Because every time an opponent hits Bilbo, that's going to feed into you. And hopefully the AI is going to figure that out, and it's not going to be awful, right? Hopefully they'll target Bilbo and your tank and not try to target somebody else. But the AI in this game is pretty smart, so we'll see how that plays when the character releases. Speaking of the character release, coming up next week, December 18th, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here for the United States, folks. Everyone else, base your time around that. I'm East Coast, so I know this is closer to 11 a.m. for me. Rewards, of course, your standard 4 tiers. Get Bilbo unlocked. Your tier 5 gives you Luminous Crystals, 50k gold, 15k character experience. If you are buying Bilbo, this tier 6 is going to be very much worth your while. You'll get epic ability materials. This is the only way still in the game to earn these consistently. There might be in there in the raid rewards, but you got to get those later chests, and it's not widely accessible, so we're not going to call that widely farmable, right? So this is really going to be your only main way of getting these. So far, out of all the characters released for Thorin's company, I think this is the character to buy. He does the most overall utility work for the team. He hits with a decent amount of damage. He has his own abilities to gain back turn meter, which is always strong. He cleanses, he buffs. He's all over the place, but the most important thing for him with that Thorin Company team is this basic ability, right? The ability to say, hey, you don't have taunt or provoke anymore. And that's going to let you really keep the power of Thorin's overwhelm focused on the target you want to defeat. So, moving on ahead, that is enough of our friend Bilbo Baggins. Let's get into our goofy buddy Bombur. Bombur is an interesting character, seeing as he is asleep for a good chunk of the story of The Hobbit, when they're in the Dark Forest. So let's go ahead and read his little character quote here. The only scrap of comfort there was came unexpectedly from Bombur. He woke up and suddenly sat upright, scratching his head. He could not make out where he was at all, nor why he felt so hungry, for he had forgotten everything that had happened since they had started their journey that May morning long ago. The last thing he remembered was the party at the Hobbit's house, and they had great difficulty in making him believe their tale of all the many adventures they had since had. So for those of you who aren't hip to the books, there's a stream that flows through Mirkwood and the Dark Forest by where Dol Guldur are and the Woodland Elves, Legolas's people and Thranduil's people. And if you drink from that water, if you are imbibed in any way, you're unconscious for days. And in Bombur's case, it was 8-9 days. It was wild. He wakes up in jail with the Dwarf Company in Thranduil's Keep. It's pretty funny. Anyway, that's your lore tidbit. Little peek behind the curtain. Moving on ahead. Categories. He's light tank, obviously Thorin's Company, dwarf, and two-handed heavy axe. Despite his clumsy nature and questionable sleeping habits, Bombur is a hardy dwarf who excels at supporting his companions and frustrating his enemies. Now, normally you would start with the other abilities. We're going to start with his passive because it is a unique, and it kind of is going to set us up to understand how the rest of his kit works. Okay, so first, his passive ability at max upgrade. On spawn, gain 3 stacks of sleep. On turn, convert each stack of sleep on self into 2 stamina, distributed to random abilities. On turn end, gain 3 stacks of sleep. This will not occur if Bombur is stunned. So his big weakness is going to be getting stunned. Passively, he also gains 15% to his total armor. Now, what is sleep? Well, I'm glad you asked. It's right here next to this one. Cannot counterattack, evade, or block. While this character is granted any assistance or counterattack stacks, convert each stack to 25% turn meter instead. When attacked, remove 1 stack of sleep. All stacks will be removed when Bombur is inflicted with stun. So with the takeaway here, his sleep is like a well-rested ability, hence the name of the passive being well-rested, okay? You start off each turn with 3 stacks of sleep. If before you get to take a turn, your character is hit 3 times or stunned, you're not going to be able to use your sleeps, which kind of sucks, right? But the payoff for that is for all the stacks of sleep you get to keep, say that 3 times fast, you're going to get bonus stamina to random abilities. Now, we'll go over these other abilities, the normal ones in order, but you'll notice the ultimate is 5, you start at 1, the special is 5, but you start at 5, but it's going to take forever to get back. And then the basic is the basic. But remember, for those stacks of sleep, every turn, as many as you have for each one, you're going to get 2 extra stacks. And if you keep all of the damage off of Bombur, you could end up very well with 6 randomly, output energy each turn from those sleep stacks. So, with that in mind, let's now go through the basic and the specials and all that. So, basic ability 1, heavy swing. Max upgrade at attack the target enemy for 200% damage and inflict weak-minded for 2 turns. Good, I believe that's the one that makes debuffs easier to land, which is what you want. Moving ahead, Dwarven Rhythms. This is a pretty important one. At max upgrade, inflict disrupted for 1 turn on all enemies. That prevents them from getting new boons until the next turn or until that is cleansed. Grant haste for 2 turns to all Thorin's Company squad members, so speed up for 2 turns to all squad members, and 2 additional random allies, meaning that if you have maybe Balin, right, from the other marquee event for dwarves, and let's say Gimli, they're still able to benefit as long as the other 3 people you're running a Thorin's Company. Everyone will get these benefits, which is good. It allows for some theory crafting, bringing in other dwarves. I don't think anyone off-rip wants to run all of the Thorin Company. I think people are really going to be looking forward to plugging in Balin and plugging in Gimli and seeing the benefits they add to the team, which I think there's some solid ones, which we'll talk about in a future video. moving on ahead. Special ability 2, the Brilliant Blunder. At max upgrade, attack all enemies for 230% damage and inflict slow for 2 turns on all enemies. So already his special 1 is giving us haste, right? And disrupting the other team. Then his special 2, which we're going to get afterwards in the turn order more than likely, unless we get really weirdly lucky and this fills up first with our sleep stacks. This is going to give us slow on all enemies. So we get boosted, they get slowed, both for 2 turns, both all enemy-based attacks. The special 1 does not do damage, it's worth noting, but it is just a really neat overall kit, and I think it feeds off of this well, and it seems like it's going to feed into the whole idea of focusing damage and single target stuff of Thorin. So that being said, friends, when is he coming out? Well, we're looking at him December 15th through the 22nd. So he's actually coming out here in just a few days. Again, you're going to get your 25 shards apiece for just doing the marquee event, getting them unlocked. The tier 5 is going to give you the luminous crystals, 50k gold, 50k character experience. And again, if you're buying characters, you want to do it for the tier 6. The 10 epic ability material is going to help you power up Thorin's leadership ability. And that's going to be huge if you're building this team out. So that being said, friends, thank you all for coming out to the video today. A couple quick notes. First and foremost, keep your eyes peeled for the strategy video. We're going to do a deep dive on the Thorin's Company core team, all 6 characters with the stats we currently have in the game. And we are going to, from there, kind of plan out mods and make recommendations and talk about maybe what characters you want to switch out for characters like Balin or like Gimli. So keep your eyes on the channel for that. Also, we're doing some more Marvel Strike Force tutorial content as well. And of course, you're going to be coming here and you're going to be seeing lots of missed video posts from me on character releases and kit reveals, so that if you want to go back and learn about these characters that I missed in my brief hiatus from posting regular content on Heroes of Middle-earth, that will be available to you. So, that being said, friends, thank you all again for coming to the channel. Long days and pleasant nights. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us on Twitch, and I hope to see y'all in the next one.